Ma'am, everybody saw naman your statement. Really, understandably, you want to start off with some hope and some message of hope. You used words like success, even victory. That has raised a few eyebrows. We'll get to that later. But let's start off with you just setting the scene for us. How is the first day? And what do you anticipate in this school year relative to really what we had to plod through last year?
Well, the first day went very well. We had 24.6 million learners already registered, not including those who are in the non-formal sector, which is the alternative learning systems, the pa-complete ang data nila, and also the overseas schools from abroad, because we have Filipino schools from which are based abroad, and we are waiting for the numbers. We also have extended enrollment up to the end of the month, and we anticipate that there will be more enrollees coming in now that they know that it's all systems go. Blended learning to make sure that the children are safe. And if the president will allow us to conduct pilot face-to-face studies, it will be on a very limited scale, both for public schools and for private schools, carefully selected.
Yeah. Pero ma'am, yung pong face-to-face, I mean, that's particularly one particular hurdle that we never really got past. And then just looking back, it's hard to believe that, it's been 1 year and then isang buong school year na yung nakalipas. Everybody knows the nightmare, the hardship, the difficulties of just trying to get kids, if not access, at least materials to them. But given all of that, kasi nagfa-flashback lahat kung gaano kahirap, what exactly do you mean when you say, the victory of last year? Where is that coming from? What exactly do you mean by that?
It is when, Rovi, it is when you have all those problems, all those challenges, and all the feedback from the critics, and having to deal with them, and in a sense respond to them positively, that we call it a victory. One, nag-lockdown ang mga schools at that time in April. And I would like to correct the impression that our schools were closed for 1 year. That is not necessarily correct, because we closed school in March. And then April, May, you had 2 months vacation that was perfectly legitimate, perfectly legal. And then by October, first week of October, we opened classes. So I'm wondering where that impression of 1 year closure of schools is coming from. And besides, we immediately decided that we'll go on blended learning because we knew that it was too dangerous. Besides, our Congress, both houses, as well as the Senate, passed an amendment to the law stating very, very clearly that on matters of basic education, it will be the president who will decide when schools will be open. And so we operated according to the provisions of law and according to the requirements as well of health, but not naman 1 year. Kasi nag-close kami ng April, mga graduation. Remember all the debates about wearing face masks during graduation. And then we reduced our modules, our minimum competencies, etc. And by October 5, which is the first week, we already opened classes with the permission of the president. So that would be about 5 months lang or even less when we resumed classes. Pero, Robbie, hindi face-to-face. Kasi ang agreement was that it would be blended. Right now, there are several bills which are pending in Congress, sponsored by Congress people who are providing for laws that will allow us magiging automatic na that blended education will be a legitimate approach. But it's legitimate now because of the law on the president to the conduct of classes. Pero gawin nilang law yan. And this is sponsored by Congress person, one Congress lady in Congress, and there are many Congress people who have signed up to this law, because we see that it is forthcoming. We see that it might be necessary if there are crises of this nature which might emerge again. So, pero hirap talaga, Robbie. I would be the last to deny it was not a picnic, because we have 15,000 learning competencies which will require our high school graduates to survive. We reduced it to 5, yung basic na lang, yung critical thinking.